than just business news, we're news for business people.
Good morning. It's the first day and also the first trading day of 2018. Here's wishing all our viewers a very, very happy and a profitable new year. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Akil, and here are the top headlines in this hour. Well, it's a flat start to the first trading day of 2018. In India, VIX continues to surge, but open interest in Berger Paints and Reliance Power surges after traders continue to take fresh positions in their respective futures. And automakers are expected to end 2017 on a high, with vehicle sales growing in double digits in December. And it's a foggy start to 2018 in the national capital, affecting train and flight movements in and around the city.
Well, let's take a look as to what's happening in the markets on day one of 2018. And it's a flat start, and that's largely got to do with the low volumes that one will be witnessing, at least in today's session. So Nifty is just about trading in the red with cuts of 3 points. And you've got the futures, that's the Nifty January futures, which are trading with a premium of almost 16 points. The premium seems to have come down compared to the closing that one saw on Friday's session. Let's also do a check for what Bank Nifty is doing. I guess that too is trading just about on a very flattish note. A bit of cuts seen there. No, actually, Bank Nifty is outperforming. It's trading with gains of 18 points right now, and it's the broader markets which have been outperforming the benchmarks in the past few trading sessions. So you've got the Nifty mid cap as well as the small cap index, which have registered decent gains today. But what could be a cause of concern? It is the high volatility. If you could just pull up the India volatility index, that's trading with gains of almost 6 to 7%. So over 13.5 now. Let's see if there is any bit of sell-off which can come in the latter half of the day because of high volatility that one is seeing in today's trade. In terms of what's the sort of range that one can expect for the January series for Nifty, it is 10,300 to about 10,700 on the upside. Even in today's session, we've seen call writing on strikes like 10,600 as well as the 10,700 strike. For Bank Nifty, which has so far not been able to touch the mark of 26,000 in 2017. Let's see if that can touch its all-time high level. So the first support for Bank Nifty, which it has actually breached in the past few sessions, is 25,500 on the upside. The resistance comes around the mark of 26,000. But Agam, it looks like it is a stock-specific day.
It certainly is, Navneet. And two stocks that I want to bring up. One is Berger Paints, and the second one is Reliance Capital. But before we do that, let's take a look at the stocks which are looking at a substantial increase and, for that matter, decrease in open interest. And there you have it. Berger Paints right at the top, with while the underlyings are nearly flat, we're looking at 8% accumulation towards open interest. So Reliance Capital, on the other hand, is looking at fresh longs building in. And as far as Reliance Power is concerned, again, it's the same case. In fact, Reliance Power again gathering momentum, with the stock itself moving up by as much as 6.3%. Ajanta Pharma and DLF among the others, which are looking at some amount of accumulation, though not as much as the kind we've seen last week. Moving on to the list of stocks which are looking at unwinding in trade, we have HDIL looking at a decline of nearly 3% in open interest while the stock moves up, so short covering there. And other than that, we have Tata Elxsi, JSW Energy, PTC India and Idea looking at some amount of unwinding. But once again, as you said, Navneet, today's day of trade is about stocks.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the Nifty Realty Index, which almost doubled in 2017. It's having a great start to 2018. That index is up almost closer to 2%, and it is the biggest sectoral gainer so far in today's trade. And besides that, you've also got the Pharma Index, which is doing pretty well in today's session. The Nifty Realty up almost 2%, and the Pharma Index is up almost 1%. But before we get our guest on the show, here's a reminder for you all. If you have any queries in the futures and options market, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141. You can also write to us on our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook with AskPQ hashtag. Well, on that note, let's welcome our F&O experts for the day, Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal Securities and Gaurav Bissa of LKP Securities joins us on the show now. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen, and appreciate you joining us today on day one of this new year. Wishing both of you a very, very happy new year. Chandan, let me come to you first. What's the range that you will be watching out in Nifty and Bank Nifty for the January series?
Yeah, thanks. Wishing a very happy new year to you and entire team at Bloomberg Quint. Also, many wishes to Gaurav as well. Looking at the market, the index has been consolidating between 10,450 to 10,552 zone from last 4 to 5 trading session. Undertone is positive, but volatility slightly spiked by 5 to 7%. So that is a cause of concern, but till it holds about 10,500 on immediate basis, buy on decline will be the strategy by putting stop loss of 10,450, and we are looking for an upside target towards 10,600, 10,650 kind of level. So overall trend is positive, and a small decline could be the buying opportunity in the market. On last trading session, we have seen fresh put writing at 10,400 and 500. That is also supporting the overall positive bias on the market. And looking at the beginning of new series, we have seen fresh put writing and the maximum put open interest is at 10,300. Maximum call is at 11,000 followed by 10,700. So option band signifies the trading range between 10,300 to 10,700, and holding about 10,500 could extend the upper band of the trading range in the option band. So as of now, till it holds the immediate support zone, I'm suggesting to buy with a stop loss of 10,450 for an upside target towards 10,600 to 10,650 levels.
All right, so the bias is positive. Gaurav, good morning to you as well, and a very happy new year to you. How are you viewing trade on the benchmark indices?
Good morning, and very happy new and very happy and prosperous new year to you, your team, and our clients. The trade for benchmark indices remains the same. I concur the view with Chandan. But we also expect a small dip coming in the markets, and 10,500 is a very strong buying area. 10,470, 475 is a good enough support that can be used as a loss. On the upside, targets of 10,600, 620 can be seen. Having said that, as far as option strategies are concerned, I think one can still make money writing the options for the reason that Nifty is yet to give a strong breakout sort of on a very small time frame. Until the time that does not happen, it can continue to trade in a narrow range, and that can work in the favor of option writers. So generally, I'm not an advocate of option writing, but for the time being, I think Nifty will continue to consolidate. And as long as Bank Nifty does not perform, I do not expect Nifty to see some sparks coming in. So for the time being, I think writing options, 10,700 call option and 10,300 put option for that matter would make sense.
Okay, well, Bank Nifty definitely underperformed in the December series. We'll wait and watch if it can put up a better show in the January series. And as Gaurav mentioned that writing options can bring you money, let's shift our focus to the options corner then and get you some option strategies from our experts. Chandan, I'll come to you first. Largely, the view is positive in the index, but does the high volatility, the higher levels that we are seeing for India volatility index can be a cause of concern? And take us through your option strategy.
Yeah, so here is the undertone is still positive, so I'll suggest to be with 10,600 call. That call is trading near to 96, 97. Buy on any decline near to 90 zone. Put the stop loss of 60 and expecting this call to head towards 140 to 150 kind of level. We have seen jump in the VIX, but overall the VIX fell down by around 35-37% from higher levels post the Gujarat election outcome. So now VIX has to hold below 13, 12.5, then only the smooth ride will be there. But as of now, I'll suggest to buy 10,600 call near to 90 by putting a stop loss of lower zone for higher targets.
All right, so that's the strategy on the Nifty when it comes to Chandan. Well, how about you, Gaurav? How are you placing your bets when it comes to options on the benchmark indices?
As I mentioned earlier, and as we discussed in the previous conversation as well, that for time being, writing a 10,700 call option and 10,300 put option combined, writing this triangle would make sense. I don't see any reason why the VIX should spike up quite fast. We can see some volatility coming in coming days. And as long as Bank Nifty does not trade, I think so. If one has to buy options, I would rather buy an option on Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty has a strong resistance at 25,600, 620. If that is taken out, then I think on an intraday basis also you can expect 120 points up move coming in Bank Nifty. So for Nifty, I would be a seller in Nifty strangle. And as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, once Bank Nifty crosses and sustains 25,620 spot levels, then I would be a buyer either in 25,800 weekly call option or 25,900 weekly call option.
Okay, so those are a couple of the option strategies. But before we move ahead and talk about the stock futures, the Maruti December, for the month of December, you've got the auto sales number that are flashing on your screen. The total sales are at 1.3 lakh units versus Bloomberg Quint's estimates of around 1.4 lakh units. So it's been a tad below what the poll was throwing about, but no major sell-off has been seen. The stock is still about holding in the green territory, trading around those levels of 9,750.
I think with that, if I'm not mistaken, it's still 15-16% growth on a year-on-year basis in the mean, because we were expecting nearly 19% growth, at least as far as the Bloomberg poll is concerned.
So it's just below the poll, but
yes,
there has been a growth on year-on-year basis.
Yes, right.
Okay, so the numbers are actually not that bad, and you can see the stock too is recovering from those levels that it saw. It did tumble a bit, but now it's back around the levels of 97.60 thereabouts. Okay, the auto stocks are going to be in focus all through the day, but let's also talk about the active stock futures in today's trade. Well, Reliance Communication, which was a star performer in last week's trade, is seeing a bit of profit booking. But look at the other stocks of Anil Ambani Group companies. You've got stocks like Reliance Power, Reliance Naval, also Reliance Capital. All these three companies are doing well in today's session. All three have seen gains between the range of 3 to 6%. Chandan, any of these stocks, Reliance Capital, Reliance Naval, Reliance Power, all of them are in the futures and options market. Do you see any sort of trading opportunity here?
These counters are highly volatile and we don't have coverage on the same. So no recommendation to client, but if technicals are concerned, then most of these stocks are forming higher top, higher bottom formation on the lower degree chart or on daily chart. So those who are holding can keep the position by putting the trailing stop loss. For Reliance Capital, till it holds above 575 zone, trend is likely to be positive for up move towards 620. Similarly, Arcom may find support near to 29.5-30 zone on declines.
All right, so that's the view coming in a whole host of, ADAG stocks. But we've seen a lot of, movement in PC Jeweler as well. In fact, today the stock has moved up substantially and it's been buzzing. It's been on a steady rise. It's up 3% today. Its open interest has also increased by as much as nearly 6.3%. PC Jeweler is currently trading, that is this January futures, is currently trading at 472.73. Gaurav, if I can come to you on this one, what is your view on PC Jeweler? And if anyone wants to, take any calls on this one, what levels would you watch out for?
We have already seen a strong momentum coming in PC Jewelers, and if you look at the OI data for last two trading sessions, it trade off on a quite strong note. When it was trading at 450, we saw a good amount of jump along with OI additions happening. A couple of trading sessions have been quite mellow. Today we have again seen a spike coming in OI additions, and also the price action also already moved up. It's trading in a new zone. I would rather wait for a dip towards 465 levels, in which case one can have a stop loss of 460, 461. On the upside, targets of 480 can be seen. And the kind of momentum it is seeing, I think it can be a better performer than compared to something like Titan. So I would be quite upbeat in the name, but I would rather wait for a small dip of 1% or so and then build a fresh position.
Okay, so wait for some bit of correction on PC Jeweler, and then probably one can look to take a fresh long call, and Gaurav has a target of almost 480 there. All right, then it's that time of the show when we address our viewer queries, and our first caller is Parveen Gulati from Ludhiana. Hi Parveen, good morning and Happy New Year to you. Thanks a lot for calling us today. Tell us what you want to know.
Good morning, ma'am. Wish you a very Happy New Year and the entire team of BQuint. And hope to see BQuint TV channel soon.
Thanks for your wishes, Parveen. And tell us, what do you want to know from our experts today?
Ma'am, I am holding HDFC Limited at the rate of 1705.
Okay.
And second stock is Canfin Home at the rate of 490.
Okay, Parveen, just to confirm, HDFC position is in futures or the spot?
Yeah,
futures.
Future. Canfin Home in cash.
Okay.
And HDFC in future.
Okay, and you're holding the January futures, right, of HDFC?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, Gaurav, I'll come to you. Let's address his HDFC limited query first. 1,705 is where he's taken a position, and the futures are just about hovering around those levels. What sort of target or stop loss can you advise, Parveen?
Hello. Hello.
Gaurav, that query is for you on HDFC Limited. Our viewer Parveen has a position. He's taken a future position there around the mark of 1,705. He wants your advice. If you could tell him what sort of target for January series and a stop loss that he can place.
Well, HDFC Limited has been trading in a narrow range. If you can have a larger perspective, it can head towards those of 1750, 1755. It will take some time. On a very immediate basis, targets of 1730 can be seen. Have a stop loss of 1%, not more than that, because if it trades below 1685, 1690, these are the levels from where we saw over addition happening. So once it breaks those levels, there's a great chance it can head towards levels of 1660. Again, 1650, 1660 is an extremely strong support area. So I would rather buy on for somebody who wants to buy fresh. For somebody who's already bought at these levels, I think one can have a stop loss of 1% around the 16 or so. And on the upside, targets of 1730, 1735 can be seen. If that is the breakout level on a short-term frame, if that is taken out, one can expect 1750 also. But for the time being, hold on.
Okay, so a stop loss of 1%, which is somewhere about 1685 or 1690, which Gaurav is suggesting, Parveen, and an upside target of 1,730 to about 1035. Well, you also have a query on Canfin Homes. I'll take that to Chandan. Chandan, what sort of levels can he expect on Canfin Homes? He's taken a position into the spot market around the level of 490 is what he suggested, and currently the stock's trading around the mark of 480.
Canfin Home is comparatively dull stock in the entire NBFC or the finance counters. But it has made a support near to 450. Just a couple of days back, it gave a breakout of a 490 zone, but that breakout was failed, and again it slipped to lower level. So now I'll suggest to put support near to 450, and if it moves above 490, then he can see the move towards 510, 520. So I'll suggest better to exit the counter on bounce back move, and he can enter in the Diwan Housing Finance, which is now turning as the strongest counter after the consolidation of last couple of trading sessions, where he can see the movement of 8 to 10%.
All right, so the suggestion is to move out of Canfin Homes and look at something like Diwan Housing Finance. But I'm going to move on to our next query, and it's got to do with Maruti. And in fact, you know, we've been getting queries on Maruti almost every single day. Well, Nitesh has one lot of Maruti futures at 9,736. And he wants to get an idea on the stop loss and the target. Again, Maruti Suzuki is currently trading at around 9,800. So, Nitesh is looking at a little bit of profit. The underlying hasn't done too much today, but open interest has moved up around 2%. Chandan, I'm going to come back to you on Maruti Suzuki. What would you do with this counter, and what targets and stop losses would you advise Nitesh?
Yeah, we have positivity on the Maruti, and we are holding the stocks in a segment from last 2 months and getting return of around 18 to 19%. This stock is the continuously outperformer stock, and expecting the next gear of rally in the counter. Recently, it made high near to 10,000 zone and then witnessed some decline. But the decline is now again likely to be bought. It has seen consolidation, and this consolidation could aid the fresh momentum. So as of now, if he's looking for very short term, then I'm looking for target of 10,000, then 10,500 to 10,700 levels in next coming weeks.
Okay, that's the view on Maruti Suzuki. The futures are trading above the mark of 9,800 as of now. Our next query on Facebook comes from Deepak Samant. He's bought Fortis Healthcare January 175 call option strike at a premium of 7.45. He wants to know what he should do. Gaurav, a strike of 175, that's on the call side of Fortis Healthcare. I remember this counter consolidating around the mark of 150. What can you advise our viewer? 5.6 is currently where it is trading right now.
I don't think there are a great amount of chances for making money. I think it's better to exit the stock. There are better opportunities. The stocks that are in the trend, I think those are the ideas that one should be watching out for. And there can be, if there's some more consolidation coming in, the time value also would go in against its favor. So I think it's prudent to exit at this point in time.
All right, so there you have it, Deepak. You can exit your position right now. Of course, in terms of options, Fortis Healthcare is fairly illiquid as well. So you need to you need to be a little more careful with your positions there. But we'll move on to more social media queries, and the next one comes from Vidhi Gupta, and she wants to know if she can short MCX at current levels. Let's take a look at what MCX is doing right now. In terms of trade, it's currently trading at 914, underlying down by as much as 0.3, and open interest up 2%. Chandan, can she short MCX at these levels? What are the technical indicators telling you?
Yeah, it's a weakest counter, and every small bounce is being sold in the counter. It is making lower top, lower bottom formation. Shorts are carrying over. In fact, the shorts rollover carrying from last couple of series. So I'll suggest one can go for shorting position, but wait for a small bounce that will give more comfortable zone to execute the position. Recently, it made bottom near to 896, 897, and if that is taken out on the downside, then I think further 4 to 5% decline could be there. So she can look for shorting the position by putting a stop loss near to 935, and target will be 896, then 850, 60 kind of level on the downside.
Okay, so you can look to short MCX at these levels, but Chandan also said wait for a bit of bounce back. If you can get that, it would be a comfortable level to short MCX. Well, the stock's been trading weak. It was actually trading weak in Friday's session as well, after the news came about that all the exchanges can now trade into commodities from this year. Let's move on and take Rehman Khan's query. He's long on JSW Energy at 89. He wants to know what should he do. The counter touched its fresh 52-week high in Friday's trade. I guess that is a bit of profit booking that one is seeing in today's session, but Rehman is still in the money. Gaurav, what would you advise him? What sort of target and stop loss can he place?
Well, there are two things. One, let us talk about the technical part first. It has been trading in the range of 78 to 84, 85. It's now come out of the range, and I don't think it should stop or halt anytime soon. It can test levels of 9800. Now, talking of derivatives part, it is now that it has started seeing some long positions getting built. This is one of the regular tenders for being in the ban period, so you don't see too much of aggressive long positions getting built. This time, it has been a trade. We are seeing good amount of additions happening. 90 call option had the highest concentration. It's trading above those levels as well. So on the whole, it looks quite robust. One can keep holding the stock. Target would be around 98 200 levels. Have a stop loss of 87. That would be not far from the buying price.
All right, so you need to keep an eye on some of those energy counters, but we'll move on to the next one, and the next one is once again a caller. We have Meghna Mehra calling us from New Delhi. Hi Meghna, if you can hear us, Happy New Year to you. Tell us, what would you like to know from our experts?
Hi, I'm long on Burger Paints.
I think we have an issue with the line. Anyways, if I'm not mistaken, she is long on Berger Paints, and I'm assuming this is January futures. Okay, there you have it at 268. And she wants to know if she can book profits or hold on to this one. So, well, Chandan, if I can, take you up on this one. Berger Paints currently trading at 274. And she's, of course, looking at some amount of profits right now, considering her entry point is 268. What can she do with this position right now?
Yeah, recently the stock has seen momentum and now set for give the fresh positive breakout. On last trading session, it has seen the long built up, and the trading volume is 4 to 5 times compared to the average daily volume. It also formed a rounding bottom formation, so expecting the momentum to continue. However, it's dull today, so I'll suggest her to keep the stop loss near to 266, and if it manages to hold about 277, then for sure you can see the rally towards 285, 290 zone.
Okay, I'm just going to squeeze in one more query from Siddhartha. It's come on Facebook. He wants a view on Bank of India. Gaurav, what are the charts of Bank of India suggesting?
Well, I was quite positive on Bank of India, but it has not been doing the kind of mood I was anticipating. It's a decent buy if it sustains 173, 174. So give it some time. Have a view till 170, 174. If it sustains those levels, if we have a closing up of 170, 174, stop loss of 170, target of 102 can be seen. It is trading near the support levels, but the risk reward is not that lucrative, and also the probability of making money is not as high as what it would be if it trades a little bit higher level.
All right, then that's the view on Bank of India. But we'll move on to trading strategies and see what our experts have for our viewers today. Gaurav, I'll come back to you. What can you recommend for our viewers in maybe today and perhaps over the next few sessions?
First one would be on Kotak Bank. We have seen decent amount of writing happening in 1000 strike put option. It has been taking supports at around those levels for quite a few amount of time. And now it looks robust. It's not seeing aggressive long positions, and that is the reason why it has been lambasting in last or trading in a range for last 7-8 sessions. Nevertheless, this sword is quite lucrative. Have a stop loss of 998. 1035 would be the first target if that is closed. I would not be surprised with 1065.70 coming in the current series itself. For next 2 days, 1035 can be the target. Second would be buy on SRF. Good amount of additions have been seen in the open segment. It has given a breakout on the weekly charts as well. Have a stop loss of 1965 on the upside. Targets of 2035, 2040 can be seen.
Okay, Chandan, what happened?
No, actually, I'm not sure if we have time to squeeze in one more query because we have one
Let's do
right
one
now.
thing. We'll take Chandan's
yes,
trading
absolutely.
strategies
Yes,
first,
yes,
and
go
then
for it,
we'll
yes.
see. Chandan, what about you? I guess you have 3 long calls for the day.
Yeah, first it is buy on KPIT. The stock is given a breakout from a symmetrical triangle, and momentum is clearly visible in most of the IT counter. So this stock can really do well. I'm looking for an upside target towards 192. One can buy with a stop loss of 174. Second price is buy on Diwan Housing Finance. The stock is now bottoming out after the consolidation of last couple of days or after the correction of last 5 to 6 weeks. It has taken support at 580, 582 zone and forming a positive price pattern by surpassing its 50-day exponential moving average. So better risk reward ratio trade. One can buy with a stop loss of 580 for an upside target towards 620 level. Third trade I'll add, that is the Grassy. Recently the stock has completed a bullish AB equal to CD pattern and negated its formation of lower top, lower bottom on the weekly chart, and also formed a narrow range breakout which indicates that up move could be seen in the counter. So one can buy with a stop loss of 1135 and look for potential upside target towards 1225, 1230 zone.
All right, so a lot of ideas coming in on the first trading day of this calendar year, but we'll get in one more query, and this one is on YouTube where Venkat Reddy wants to know the view on Bharti Infratel. So Chandan, I'll come back to you. Can you tell us, first let's pull up what Bharti Infratel is doing. There you have it. It's currently trading at 373. It's down by as much as 1.7% and its open interest up by 4%. So there is some amount of shorts building into the system right now. Chandan, what can Venkat Reddy do with Bharti Infratel now?
See, comparatively, stock has seen some buying in last 2 weeks, but follow-up is missing, and overall it is making lower top, lower bottom formation. It is finding some hurdle at its 50-day exponential moving average. So I'm not having much comfortable or conviction in the counter. If someone is holding the position, I'll suggest to put the stop loss near to 366, and above 382 only I'll get the sign of positive momentum towards 390, 395. So I'll suggest to put a stop loss of 366, and above 381, 382 only up move could be seen in the counter.
Okay, that's the view on Bharti Infratel. On that note, we'd like to thank both our guests, Gaurav as well as Chandan. Thanks a ton for joining us today and taking us through your views in the futures and options market, and also helping our viewers with their query. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Thanks a lot for watching, but stay tuned for more news and updates.